Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you've been watching the last month or so, you'd see that I've been previewing some 2024 events, and I've had a lot of comments saying, is there any events for beginners, like first-time bikepackers, those of you who maybe aren't so experienced, because obviously going into something like the Transcontinental Race or Tour Divide as a first-timer is quite daunting. So what I've done is I've put together my list of 5 bikepacking events for beginners. These are all based in Europe because that's what I'm more familiar with. I'm sure there are some excellent events in like the USA, the rest of the world. But yeah, this is based in Europe, mainly because I've ridden a lot of them and I'm familiar with the terrain and the level. So I wouldn't want to kind of recommend anything that I'm not familiar with. So without further ado, here are my 5 top bikepacking events for beginners in Europe. So we're going to start. Well, I've kind of cheated a little bit, if I'm honest. It's 5 events, but some of them are a bit of a series. The first one is the Guanche in the Canary Islands. Obviously, technically they're Spain, but it's a chain of islands, volcanic islands off the coast of Africa. So they run 3 events: the Guanche Trail, the gravel, and the road. Now I've done the trail myself, and then they all follow a roughly similar route. So the road obviously is on road bikes. So this is an excellent. There really are excellent events for beginners because it's not necessarily super competitive, but you're always racing the ferries. So as you can see, there's 5 islands, and you have to get to each one, and you find yourself pushing and racing the ferry each time. So all the events start in Lanzarote, cross. Then you get the ferry to Fuerteventura. Then it's Gran Canaria, Tenerife, and then the trail, the road, and the gravel events all finish on 3 separate islands. So the road one is La Gomera, so basically you're chasing yourself all the time. You're getting up to high altitude, like 2,300 meters up on El Teide on Tenerife. So you're going to get really good experience of like deserts, open landscapes. Gran Canaria and Tenerife particularly hilly. Gran Canaria, very steep island, and again you're hitting 2,000 meters. Tenerife, you're going to be sustained, above 2,000 meters for a while. So if you've not experienced altitude and things like that before, if you're thinking of doing something like Tour Divide or any of these events, then it's a really good way to kind of experience a lot of conditions. So the gravel route, as you can see, it's, as the name suggests, it is gravel, but it finishes on El Herrero, which is another one of the small lines at the end there. And as it says here, it's a mixed terrain route that goes by fast gravel roads, secondary paved roads, and avoids rocky single tracks or sandy sections. So basically, you're on a gravel bike with 40mm tyres. And then this is the one I did. This is the trail version. So basically, you'll just take on the rockier trails. You're probably better off on a mountain bike, or you can do it. Although you can do it on a gravel bike, and you finish on La Palma, which is it's a beautiful island, massive climbs. And actually, to be honest, the rest of the route is very similar to the gravel. So yeah, if you've done a lot of road and you want to go into gravel ultra, then maybe the gravel is a really good kind of like you can dip your toe in. You're never too far away from kind of civilization. These are very like populous islands with lots of tourism and infrastructure, so you can always get out of trouble not too easily. And then the other thing as well, if you're maybe you've never done bikepacking before in your life, maybe you don't want to jump into an ultra, they also do the outer detours tours, so you can essentially ride these routes, but with full support and stay in hotels every night. So it's a good chance to basically, maybe do your first longer rides, again, experience altitude and stuff, and with a guide. And it's a shameless plug, I'm afraid, but I'm actually guiding the road one on the 10th of March, 2024. So yeah, check that out if that's the kind of thing that you're interested in. It might be a really good stepping stone. They also do a gravel version too, which again, if you've never done gravel before and you want to learn a bit more, you can go in there with some experienced guides and find out a bit more and learn a bit more. So that's a Gran Guanche and Outer Detours. I'll put all the links and everything below. And again, just check out this website. It's beautiful. Matteo, who runs it, is an excellent photographer. There's loads of really great information. Even if you don't want to do the event, it's worth checking out this website because there's just so much. I mean, the route's great, even if you want to do it off your own back. There's so much really useful information about everything, the ferries, places to stay, things to do, things to see. So yeah, it's an excellent resource, regardless of whether you want to do the event or not. The second event I've picked is, I've not actually done this one, but I'm very familiar with the area and I've heard great stuff. It's Desertous Bikers. Now, this is described as a rally raid, so please excuse my terribly slow internet. So based in Spain, and it takes you through basically the desert landscapes of. So there are set parkour, and these are all primarily off-road through some of the desert landscapes of Spain. So you're looking at around 1,350 kilometers cycling, which isn't massive. It's enough to get you kind of out there and do some long days, but you've got 7 days to do it, so it's pretty manageable. And then 13,500 meters of climbing. If we head down the bottom here, you can see a rough map. So as you can see, the grey spots are the checkpoints. This year it starts in the north of France, just over the border, finishes in Portugal. So yeah, you can see that the route is fairly obvious. It's a good option, I think, if you're doing your first self-planned route. Spain is really easy to get around, loads of good roads, nice and safe, loads of good resupply. So again, there's loads of opportunity to learn on the road here, and again, plenty of infrastructure in Spain, so if you do get stuck or caught out, it's easy to get home. So again, check out that website, Desertous Bikers. I'll put that down the bottom. My third one is, this is one I actually made a complete video on, so I'm not going to go into too much detail because I've done a whole video on this. It's a new one from James Hayden, El Piri. So this will be the first edition in 2024, starting and finishing in Girona. So again, really easy to get to and get back again. If you've never done that much gravel or not had much experience of like the high mountains, then I would suggest this will be an excellent first event to test yourself out on. So the route, James has actually given me a preview. This isn't final, but you can see 500 miles, and you've got a chunk of climbing. You're getting over 2,000 meters here. And James has tailored this for gravel bikes for beginners. You know, there's some wilderness sections in there, but there should be plenty of resupply if you're well organised. So again, if you've done some events and you want to try getting a bit more wild, you want to try doing some more remote sections, I would suggest that this might be a very good option to sort of learn and push yourself a bit more in a sort of off-road scenario. So yeah, that's El Piri. Again, I'll put everything down below. My fourth event is the Celtic Race. Now, I would suggest that if you're looking at doing your first sort of full-length ultra, 2,000 plus kilometers, the Celtic Race is a really good place to start. Now, for 2024, it starts on the Isle of Man and finishes in Inverness in the Scottish Highlands. But the beauty of the Celtic Race is it's really tailored for mass participation. It's not super elitist in terms of people trying to race and win. There's a really nice community there. People are going to help you out. You're not going to be told off for riding next to someone. If you want to build your confidence, I'd say this is a really great event to learn the longer form of ultra racing. It's a preset route, so you don't have to worry about that. And it'll be hard enough to test you, but there's always going to be, it's not going to be so hard it totally breaks you. The other thing is as well, there's a long route and a short route. So if you commit to the long route and then you feel like halfway around, maybe it's a bit too much for you, you can always drop down and do the short route as well. And, no one's going to think any worse of you. So there's always that option there. I think it is sold out for now, but there is a waiting list at the moment. So people always end up dropping out. So I'd say there's a fair chance you get in if you're on that waiting list. So if you go on to panceltic.com, again, I'll put the link below and check that one out. And the final one, again, I've cheated a little bit. So this is more of a series. This is the Biking Man series. And I've done a few of these over the years, and they're primarily based in France. But they've got a few sort of further afield, again, primarily road with some gravel sections. Basically they're shorter events, so 2 to 3 days normally, between sort of 1,000k, 500k. It's not going to be too long. And again, a really good way to kind of just test yourself a little bit. So you could travel abroad. There's Taiwan, Sri Lanka is a new one for 2024, Brazil, and then the rest are all based in and around France. So Corsica, particularly hilly, I've done that one, and then spread around the mountains in various areas of France. Plenty of dates available as well, so you can pick and choose. And it's a good way just to dip your toe in and just see if you can ride 500k or 1000k. And again, there's that infrastructure around there, that support, a good community. So it's a good one just to kick off your kind of, I guess, ultra racing career or bikepacking career. And see how we go. That's pretty much it. That's my 5 bikepacking races that are ideal for beginners, all based in Europe. Thanks for watching. I've got loads more live race coverage coming in 2024. I'll be covering Tour Divide, Silk Road Mountain Race, Highland Trail, Hellenic Mountain Race, to name but a few, plus coverage of my own races, starting with the Atlas Mountain Race at the beginning of February. So keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching, and give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't done so already, so you don't miss that, and see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.